You have a collect call from an inmate at the Washington Correctional Center. To accept the call, press 5.
There's nothing like waking up to the sound of clacking and buzzing as the doors crack in the morning after count clears. Waking up to the reality of life in prison. For some, it's just a stop along their journey, a milepost, an experience. For others, it is a revolving door, in and out, and that's their way of life, stuck in the cycle, pulling and eating away at them. And then for some, it becomes their destination, as the hammer came down and that judge issued them a death sentence. The slow way, by way of life in prison. This is The Life of a Lifer by Taylor Conway.
Keep on walking down the line. Keep on walking down the line. Keep on walking down that street. Keep on walking down the line.
So today on Life of a Lifer, we got JC, who he spent a lot of time in prison, and after everything that he's been through, he's created this platform called Wrong to Strong Fitness, and he's really inspiring some people and making some changes out there. So, JC, are you with me, man?
Oh, man, thank you. Yeah, I'm right here, man, you know, trying to spread that word.
You know, tell me a little bit about your story. Let people know what it is, who you are, and where you come from.
I grew up in Chicago, 26th Street. It's one of the oldest Mexican neighborhoods in Chicago, and very gang infested. I mean, the gangs have been there since the 30s. It's a way of life. It's just like something norm. You know, everybody's in a gang, everybody's rocking something. It's just, we took in a culture like from the mafia back in the day, and it's just been like a Wild Wild West city, man. And at a very young age, I started gangbanging and taking care of business, and that was just the way to survive in the jungle. And the life went on, and next thing you know, I was working for a family in Mexico at the age of 16. Military training, everything pretty much, just like how they show in the movies. They take young kids and they turn them into soldiers to profit for them. I ended up in prison in Mexico. I was 17 when I went in to prison in Mexico, and it was bad, man. A lot of violence, a lot of drugs, a lot going on. Not like, you know, an American prison. So I got on the American exchange program, and I ended up back in the United States, but I couldn't stay out because I didn't know how to live like a normal life without wanting to fight or stab or shoot for every small thing. It had already been enforced in me where, like, I thought that everything was solved with violence, and I just couldn't stay out. I mean, I was in and out for 17 years of my life. The next thing you know, I'm 40-something years old, and I'm still sitting in a cell trying to be a gang leader. And, you know, I'll never forget what my grandfather told me. You know, he was like, you guys think you guys are tough, but, you know, the tough guy is the one that provides for his family and goes to work every day. And this man went to work for 60-something years and never missed a day. Now I understand, like, we go from kids to actually growing up and being men, and that's when we start to see things a lot different, you know?
Right. I know exactly what you mean, man, because I came in to the system at an early age. I started going to juvenile, and then I actually ended up in this behavioral modification program in Mexico, believe it or not. At the age of 15, it was a horrible place. They ended up getting shut down later on. A lot of kids ended up dying, you know what I'm saying, bro? But, so I came back, and I was almost 17. Shortly after that, I got kicked out onto the streets, and I just lived that life up until 20. I got arrested and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for an aggravated murder, man, and I didn't even commit aggravated murder, so I'm wrongfully convicted of that, man. 14 years later, here I am, bro. So I hear what you're saying, man. It's crazy out there, bro. And that life, it's kind of, especially when you go through a lot of stuff when you're younger, and then you don't grow up, and then you get to the point to where later on, you finally start growing up, but by that time, for people in my situation, it's too late, man. You're done. Life without parole, and there is no second chance, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, it's crazy, man. You know, I have a lot of mentors that are doing life actually in prisons in Illinois, and I have phone calls with them once a month and stuff like that, and they've become some of my biggest mentors, man. Even though they're in there, they still have this impact that they created me, and then I spread that on to somebody else. So it's like we made it, like mentally, we made it. So we have to like pull these. Because, you know, I mean, remember how we were at that age? I mean, you couldn't tell us what was right, what was wrong, because we knew everything.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a true story right there.
We were the tough guys that knew everything, and we knew everybody, and we just knew how we were going to do things.
Yeah, you couldn't tell me nothing when I was a kid, man. It's cool that you keep in contact with these people, man.
You know, I have a huge responsibility to live a good, decent life in order for these guys to live it with me. You know, some of these dudes I grew up with as kids, and it's just very important for me to do it for them and for us. You know, they every day when I talk to them, they're always like, "Who would have ever thought, JC? You were like the worst one out of all of us."
That just goes to show, man, that you got a purpose, man. And we all have a purpose. You just got to find it. But you're living it right now. You found it, and you're really living it, bro. So, I mean, that's awesome. Because I hate it when I see these dudes that, you know, I got high hopes for them to get out, and then, you know, like 6 months, a year goes by, and you see them come back, man. There's nothing more disappointing than that.
Yeah. I did that a couple of times, and, you know, my older cats that were in there, they would see me on the bus come back, and they would be like, you're not even getting a care package this time, motherfucker. Upset with me.
It's a hard thing, man, because you see it happen all the time, man. You see them come back, and then get out, and then come back. It's devastating, bro.
But, you know, one of the hardest things for me sometimes is to actually not want to go back, because sometimes I get tired of the bullshit out here. I was so used to the structure, to the respect, to the loyalty in there that, you know, it took me a very, very hard time to actually say, okay, I have a purpose to do out here, and I have to, like, stay on course. It's one of the biggest demons that I deal with on a daily basis, man.
So, speaking of that, what are some of the things that you do to deal with that? Like, if you're speaking to somebody who may be feeling that same type of way, like, what are some of the things that you do to deal with that?
Man, bro, I go to AA meetings, I go to drug meetings, I go to church, I do anything that has a positive message, I do it. Anything that has to do with positive stuff, I just fill my head up with all positive stuff. So whether it's a message in the Bible, whether it's a motivational video, just something positive, or just sitting there with a cup of coffee and actually feeling how blessed I am. Stuff like that, brother. You know, the small things in life, man, is what people miss sometimes, man. That's how I tell people, my clients, you know, the more you diet, the easier it gets. You know, and the more you binge, the easier it gets too. So like it could go either way. I mean, it's like they say, it depends what wolf you feed. You know what I mean? The good one or the bad one. It's the one that's going to be stronger, you know, and eventually with time, it never gets easier. You just get better at it. It's been a trip, man. I would have never thought that I would be, you know, I'll be releasing my second book in a couple of months. My first one's on Amazon. It's a small read. It's just to get people started on my journey. And, you know, I would have never thought that I was going to be walking in the prison and without handcuffs and shackles and walking out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man, I can only imagine that.
My book is JC's Chronicles. It's on Amazon. I've had a very interesting life, man. I have to say that it was filled with money, drugs, rap videos, shootings. I mean, it's an action-packed movie. You know, and I went from all that to living my boring life now, where I just get up, go to the gym, eat, and make YouTube videos.
Now you get to tell your story, man, and try to impact some people with it. Try to make something, you know what I mean, make a change and inspire people, man. Sounds like you're doing it. Speaking of videos, man, I think, did you get a chance to see the Seth Anthony video that he made?
Yeah, that song is fire, man.
That thing came out cool as shit, man. I'm really impressed with it, man. That dude is an amazing guy, bro. He's got a big heart, and he really did it. You know, I wrote these songs and sent them over to him, and I've been working with him for a while now, and we're working on this project, and that's the first song, man, off the project. We got more coming, and you know what I mean? It's on Seth Anthony's YouTube page. Send Me to My Grave.
No, it was fire. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man, when people are doing stuff like that, man, because it just shows that, you know, a boy starts to catch fire, man. So it's pretty badass.
Hell yeah. He's got his album just dropped today, as a matter of fact, was a crazy thing, called 2020 Vision. And he's got some heat, man. That dude's really, really talented. So anyways, yeah, man, you might check it out. I think he's all
Might have to get it.
Too. Absolutely. So you said Wrong to Strong. That's your fitness company?
Wrong to Strong Fitness is my fitness company, my clothing brand. I came up with that name when I got violated and I got sent to a pretty bad place in California. And that's where I had my, aha moment when I had just my first bus ride in. They gave me a year for violation. It was my last term that I did.
Cool, I'm with it. It's real catchy, and it sounds like the way you're going about doing it, it's really like sticking. You know what I mean? It's getting traction, and it sounds like you're doing some great things with it. I support it, man. I really support it. And if there's anything that we can do to, further your endeavors, man, we definitely want to promote that. I got one more question for you, man, and that is, I ask this to everybody about what do you think about life sentences?
Honestly, man, I think that everybody deserves a second chance, man. I mean, I have my opinion on different kind of crimes, and I really won't go into that right now, but anything that has to do with a child or rapes and stuff like that, I have a different opinion just because of what happened to me as a kid, it's more personal. I have a lot of friends that are doing life sentences or ridiculous amount of years for murders, and I get it. I feel bad for the families. I feel bad for both families because both families lost a kid. I get it. But I believe that there comes a time where a guy should be given another chance, man. I think back in the day, a life sentence was, 20, 21 years?
Yeah.
I believe so. Something like that. And then you got released. They're not even doing that no more because, they're just locking motherfuckers and throwing away the key. And it's fucked up because a lot of people do change in there, man. A lot of people get educated. I met some of the most educated people in there, and a lot of people change, but they're not giving them a chance to come out and actually change. Do you know how much they would impact society and these kids? They would actually do better out here than they would doing there.
And that's the thing, man, because there's a lot of impact that can be made on especially the at-risk youth, the lifers, the ones that have spent all these years in prison and have made these changes are the ones that have the potential to impact them. Because
honestly, we need people like us to spread the message. You can't, have some college dude go in there and tell them how they don't know. They don't know what we've been through. They don't know the pain. They don't know what it is to live on the streets. They don't know. So I'm not going to listen to you. Right. It's like hiring a fat personal trainer. How the fuck are you going to get me into shape if you're fucking fat?
Exactly, man. Exactly. Well, JC, man, it's been real, bro, and I really appreciate you coming on here, man, and sharing your story and talking with us, having these conversations. I look forward to. I'd like to have you back.
Yeah, brother. Hey, whenever you want to call me, man, my line's open to you, man.
I really appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro, because I can feel it, the impact that you're making. You inspire me, man. What you're doing is really making a difference.
Keep on walking.